Let's do it. This is baseball. This day in baseball history for May 2nd. All right. May 2nd, 1901, the Chicago Orphans purchased Hall of Fame pitcher Rube Wadell from the Pirates. Are you ready for this? For a stogie.
Really?
The strange transaction for the 24-year-old eccentric and inconsistent left-hander resulted from Pittsburgh manager Fred Clark's telling team owner Barney Dreyfuss, sell him, release him, drop him off the Mongolia Bridge. Monongahela Bridge. Oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. Do anything you like as long as you get him the hell off my ball team. Wow. So he sold him for a cigar.
Wow.
Rube
Wadell. This team was named in honor of me and my improper children that you mentioned earlier, the Chicago Orphans. And it turns out Rube Wadell was not an orphan. That's why they had to get. That's why
Oh yes, he was. But he was definitely.
You can only have orphans on the Chicago Orphans.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin, back in 1901, you were what, 30? How much did a stogie cost?
Well, it depends on where you're getting it from. You might have to. You can get the old 5-cent cigar, or you can get the Cuban. You might have to actually pay $1. Oh my God,
$1 for a stogie, huh? Well,
no, I mean that's high end. That's high end. 1901 money. That'd be like, what? Do you have your inflation calculator? All right. I need it later, Jack. Can you have it for later, please?
Have it later.
Yes. Thank you. May 2nd, 1912, at the South End grounds, the hometown Braves score 10 runs in the first 2 innings and hold on to defeat the Super Boss 11-7. Brooklyn scores in the bottom of the 3rd inning to knock out Boston starter Buster Brown. There's actually a baseball player named Buster Brown.
God, dude.
Okay, so all right. So I'm thinking to myself, there's so much going on here. By the way, this South End grounds we should definitely talk about, because literally this is it. And if you saw it from the front, it looks like a castle. It looks beautiful. It's really crazy. It's super cool looking.
Well, I mean, Ian right there says it looks like a Disneyland ballpark.
It does.
Like, yeah. It really does.
From the front, it totally does too. It looks like the Small World or whatever. Okay, so I'm just like, no, I'm obsessed about the Buster Brown part of it.
Of course,
so I'm just like, is that where Buster Brown came from, like the cartoon? Right. But it turns out that it's actually named after Buster Keaton. So the actual cartoon was in my head too, but I'm like, wait a second, there was something else about Buster Brown.
Yes.
It was the Buster Brown shoes.
Of course. That's where I know from.
And I remember there was like, this went out of business, but it actually had a resurgence. I remember in like the 80s and 90s.
I remember for sure seeing it at the mall in the 80s. It's like a children's shoe brand? I think it was.
Yes.
Yep. Right? Okay.
Yep. It was.
I'm sorry, orphans. It's for orphans, not kids.
Specifically for orphans, which is why it did not do well in the market.
Right.
Yeah. I can only keep them in business with so many orphans. I'm sorry.
Right.
But I thought it was cool. Buster Brown. I didn't know there was a Buster Brown in baseball, but I thought that would have been pretty cool.
I want to jump on Ian's comment in the chat. As a graphic designer, Michael, how well did they draw that dog?
Oh my gosh, super cool. I think the name of the dog is Lilo, I want to say. But yeah, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think all the art from back then has such just amazing it looks vintage, but it's because it wasn't made on a computer. It was all hand illustrated and hand painted.
So good. What fantastic artwork that is. Did you ever get issues with Buster Brown, Michael Mondragon?
I did not. I was always an athlete. Nike was always my big thing, and when this Nike. You know what? I take that back. I might have had Buster Brown shoes because those shoes on the bottom. I do remember seeing a picture of me as a little kid. I was standing on this thing, and I had those shoes. So I think I did have Buster Brown shoes.
Oh no!
How old does that make me?
Almost as old as me. Well, maybe he had the knockoff version, the buzzer brown. You know what I mean? Maybe you went to swap meet and got those.
That's true. Yes, that dog has about 300 teeth. Oh, so good. So good. All right. May 2nd, 1917 at Weeghman Park. Southpaw Hippo Vaughn, that's exactly his name, Hippo Vaughn of Chicago, and Reds righty Fred Toney throw no-hitters against each other through the first 9 innings.
Wow.
The deadlock is broken in the top of the 10th with a one-out single by Larry Kopf and an error and an infield hit by, ready for this, Kevin, Jim Thorpe.
Whoa!
We love Jim Thorpe.
Oh, yeah.
Then sets the Cubs down to preserve his extra inning gem. That is awesome. No hitters into the 10th.
On both sides.
And then Jim Thorpe is involved.
Yeah.
Jim Thorpe, the true Captain America.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this picture.
Yes.
This is Weeghman Park in Chicago. Which is what now?
It's a Payless shoe store.
It is not.
Oh,
you were really close.
Oh, I hate that.
It doesn't look familiar to you?
Jack, have you been there?
I have not.
Oh, I thought you went to a game here.
Never in Chicago, baby.
Are you ready for this? You'll see it once I say it. This is Wrigley Field.
Oh.
This is Wrigley.
The one in LA, Wrigley Field in LA. I've been there.
This is
Wrigley Field, Chicago.
Yeah. This was so it was Weeghman Park from 1914 to 1920.
Yep.
It was Cubs Park from 20 to 26, and then became Wrigley Field in 1927. It was part of the Rogue League they built this stadium for.
Yeah, because Wrigley Field is named for the owner. You know, Charles. Charles's first name am I correct?
Really? So Charles Wrigley.
Yeah, Charles Wrigley, who was the Wrigley Gum Empire. You know, Wrigley Gum Company. So there you go. There was Wrigley Field in LA until about the 60s, and the Cubs even had a spring training facility on Catalina Island in the LA area. They had a little Wrigley Field there too, because Wrigley apparently owned a lot of properties on Catalina Island. For those of you who know what I'm talking about here in Southern California. Yep.
Can you imagine catching a ball game on Catalina Island?
Oh,
wow.
I wish oh yeah.
Yeah, it might have been an all grass field. Although I see.
Oh, there's dirt. I don't know if there's dirt anywhere in there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell and with the color of this, but yeah, this is Wrigley Field. And actually, there's a great. I couldn't get it all in there, but they had this one. They used to take pictures where they used to like turn the camera and get a panoramic, and you can see it. It's literally in that neighborhood. It looks almost the same.
Yeah,
like you can totally see it.
Wakefield. I can't remember the cross street. Is it Wakefield?
Waveland.
Waveland, thanks. Sorry. Thank you. You would think I would know. I only went there last year.
Well, you actually had a bad taste in your mouth from.
Oh yeah, I'm not going back there. Sorry.
we'll have to recreate the history there.
Kevin's the only one of the three of us that's been kicked out of Wrigley Field.
I couldn't get back into Wrigley Field. That's a whole different.
Yeah. Well, you did the show there, and then you got kicked out.
All right, I'm going to do another game. Here's a tease. Later this summer, I'm going to be doing another show live at another Major League ballpark that I've never been to.
There you go. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. So stay tuned for that one. This one's absolutely outstanding, and I can't believe that this is actually true. May 2nd, 1954, in a doubleheader at Sportsman Park, 8-year-old Nate Colbert watches the Cardinals' Stan Musial to become the first major leaguer to hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader. Okay, so you're saying to yourself, who is Nate Colbert?
Oh, I know.
In 1972, as a 26-year-old Padres first baseman, he will become the only other major leaguer to repeat this feat.
Wow.
Is that insane or
what? What?
God, baseball is so beautiful sometimes, isn't it?
It's incredible.
It's almost as beautiful as that jersey.
Yes, that is the softball special of the 70s. It was
I love it. 13 RBIs, 5 home runs. Oh, that's so good.
That's crazy. And then he was, there at Sportsman Park as an 8-year-old.
Wow,
it's too crazy. And I'm wearing
the man.
Wow,
my Stan Musial shirt and
very good.
In appreciation. All right, so I'm going to play this video. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I think you will enjoy it.
I hope it's what I think it is.
To short. Larkin. Oh boy, he pulled him off the base. Safe. He saved the run, scored. Do you believe it? A late call by the first base umpire.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Bill Robinson, I think, made the call for him, and because it was late, Osaski didn't have a chance to throw home to get Johnson. I don't believe it.
I don't either. Look at this. That's what Pete's arguing about.
Well, why did he call? Well, Pete's got a point because he's got to make the call right now.
Oh, boy. Look. Oh, boy. They better grab Pete.
Seen Pete Rose touch an umpire or even come close to an umpire.
Well, Peter gets suspended too.
Yep.
He got it suspended.
He's saying that Dave Pallone touched him in the jaw.
What happened was he mimicked him. I thought that burnt up Pete Rose when he mimicked him. That's good policy either.
Well, here's the play once again. It appeared that Osaski was off the bag. We're not saying that he didn't get the right call. Now, he was off the bag right there. The point was, watch Pallone. He does not make an initial call. Mookie looking back. Bill Robinson pointing to the bag. Bill's doing his job. Pallone didn't make the call right away. And that allowed Osaski, assuming he was out, not to be able to throw a hustling late call. Maybe Pete was telling Eric Gregg that he touched him and certainly mimicked him. And this place is a little nuts right now.
Yeah, when he mimicked him, I think that just incited Pete.
Well, and I think he may have made contact too, Fran. Otherwise, why would Pete point to his face?
Tim, what I would have done, of course, we have, obviously, hindsight up here. Bill Robinson stepped into fair territory in front of Osaski, even though Osaski could not have thrown out Howard Johnson.
That's an excellent point.
Oh, this is wild tonight. What else is going to happen?
That's exactly right. Bill actually stepped in front of Osaski, and they're bringing the players off the field.
You believe this?
Here it is one more time. Well, Pete is clearly in the wrong there.
Yes.
No excuse.
That's right.
Excuse for that. Clearly in the wrong.
Again, the only thing that I can see exciting Pete or inciting Pete is the mimicking of him.
Or contact made on his cheek.
Yeah.
But ridiculous.
Okay, they're taking Pallone out of the game, I guess. Pallone will leave the ball game. They're throwing debris at Pallone. I don't blame him for leaving. They're going to do it with 3 umpires now. Yeah, this is crazy. You can't do that.
Well, this is ridiculous. It's not the fault of the Cincinnati management. It's the fault of unruly fans.
That's right.
Sorry.
That
lost it.
That is the reason why Pete Rose is the greatest to ever lace up cleats, baby.
I'm dying. For people don't know, we're about to talk about Marge Shot, like a deep dive on Marge Shot. So this is amazing.
Wow.
So May 2nd, 1988, Pete Rose, furious over Dave Pallone's delayed call allowing the eventual winning run, becomes the first manager suspended for an on-field incident when the National League president, Bart Giamatti, issues a 30-day suspension for his shoving the first base ump. And that's like a famous one that you see. I remember seeing that one. This one.
I forgot it was 30 games. Like
30 games. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But when I saw the sign here, I was like, I lost it as well because
the synergy is just.
It's too amazing that this happened on this day, or the suspension happened on this day, considering we're going to be doing a hazy history on Marge and Pete Rose.
Definitely some Pete Rose in here as well. Yes.
Oh, it's so fun.
But I mean, the umpire was clearly in the wrong. When Pete Rose says something, you listen. Like if you spell Pete Rose in Scrabble, you win forever.
They always say Durango Scrabble coming out soon.
They always say that time and tide wait for no man, but they wait for Pete Rose, pal. If he says he was out, he was out.
So, Jack, Marge says, "Please cool it."
Marge can.
Martin. Well, no, she means light up a cool.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what she meant.
All right. So lastly, May 2nd, 1993, Jeff Bronkey picks up the save in his big league debut, tossing 3 scoreless innings against the Brewers in the 9-7 Texas victory. The 27-year-old Rangers reliever becomes the first person born in Afghanistan, Kabul to be exact, to play in the major leagues. I wasn't even aware this even happened. And it doesn't say that on his card that he was born in Afghanistan.
Right. It says it right there. It does say it on that card.
It does say it?
Yeah, it does.
I was looking at on the home and
no, it says born. God, oh my god!
Oh, it does say it on there. I was looking at another card and it didn't have it.
What a great accidental find there. Wonderful.
Yes, that's awesome.
Good job, Fleer.
Yes. So I wanted to make mention of the first place that I actually heard of Kabul. For Simpsons fans out there, it would be 2 guys from Kabul in a very classic bit where these guys are sitting in an empty restaurant and you can hear the clock ticking and they're just sitting there with their backs to each other. And then the one guy on the left says, "Sometimes I think you just want to fail." One of the all-time great bits on The Simpsons very early.